y'all. Hey y'all. I look a hot mess. I don't need to hit your mouth about that. I don't care. I don't care because I'm talking about this election that is tomorrow. Y'all, tomorrow will determine our future. Tomorrow is a big day. This midterm election is a big day for our country, for women, for our health. Okay. I know we are all struggling for inflation. I know that we all have trying to figure out how we're going to feed our families, how we're going to get to work. Should I buy my medicine this week or should I wait? You know, these are all things that all Americans all are thinking about, not only in America, but around the world. It's a global inflation, not just here. But I get it. I understand because I am right with you. I think about this daily, right? But let me ask y'all this question. What plans do the Republican Party have to combat inflation? Have they came out with, has anybody said anything from the Republican Party about inflation, about what they're going to do to help us people, that everyday, that 99% that are out here working, robbing Peter to pay Paul, working 2-3 jobs, did they come up with a plan? That's one. Two, if they get in power, if the Republican Party takes over the House and the Senate, they are coming after what they call entitlements. The entitlements they're talking about is Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security. Now, I don't know about you, but I know I have paid into Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare since I started working at 14. So I'm trying to think how they're trying to say that's an entitlement. That is something that I earned because I paid into it. Now, a lot of elderly people depend on Social Security. That's what they live off of because they actually paid into it from working. So they're trying to cut Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security. I don't know about you, but my father is on Social Security. I have uncles and aunts and great aunts who are on Social Security. They need that to survive. They need Medicaid and Medicare to go to the doctor, right? Because the other insurance costs 3 arms, 4 legs, and an eye to get, right? So they are trying to cut that, which I think is really, again, they are the 1%, right? Okay, so think about that. I know we have our views, and I don't always agree with the Democratic Party. I do not always agree with them, but I do want to think about my father, my daughter, who receives a Social Security check because of her disability, and is on Medicaid because of her disability. If they cut it, she gets nothing. She has to depend on my insurance, who cuts her off at 26, right? And then we have to pay out of pocket for insurance. So these are the things that you have to think about. Not only that, they want to put a cap. Let me rephrase this. They want to take the cap that President Biden put forth for Big Pharma for insulin, which is $35. They rather Big Pharma get their money and charge insulin. Now, I had a grandmother who is deceased now who was on insulin, and she took a shot every day. Every day. Them little small bottles don't last that long, right? And some people carry around that little machine that distributes insulin into their bodies daily. So you mean to tell me you rather Big Pharma make for one little bottle $200 and it don't take but like $10 to make? That's it. That's what the Republican Party is trying to do. People, I'm telling you, I understand your struggle because I go through it every single day. I ain't got it all together. I do not. I look like I do, but I do not. Right? I struggle just like everybody else. These days, I'm like, I don't want to put gas in my car because gas too high. Now it has gone down. It has gone down some, which I am thankful for. However, food is high. It's $6 for a carton of eggs, which I'm like, I don't need to eat no eggs. Anywho, let's think about those things, right? But they haven't set out a plan. If they take away Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security, as they call them, entitlements, what are they going to do for the people who pay into this? I looked at my checks and my daughter's checks. They still pay, and we still pay into Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare. So why would you tell me that's an entitlement, something that I pay into? Y'all stop using our money for other stuff. How about that? That's one, right? Then I want you to think about this. 192 Republicans voted against the baby formula shortage. They voted against to help with the baby formula shortage. They voted against it. They voted against helping women who had babies, who needed formula. When we had the shortage, they voted against it. That would help put formula back on shelves and help mothers feed their children. 192 Republicans. Let me go further. 195 Republicans voted against federal protection of birth control. 195 Republicans voted against federal protection for birth control. Why do you think we need birth control, you may ask? Let's think about this. If my daughter's in college, she wants, look, I pray she doesn't, but I'm not naive, right? Let's say she goes out there, she want to have sex. I go and talk to her doctor, we get on birth control. But because the doctor can say, I don't want to give her birth control. That's my belief. That's something that I think that's not up to, or the state could say, no, we don't want birth controls being sold in this state. Some people need birth control to help with menstrual cramps, to help with clotting, to help with other medical issues. So they need the birth control. And federal protection would help them and let the states know, hey, you can't keep these people from getting birth control. It's not just to prevent pregnancy, even though that's what it's supposed to be used for. But just, they say wear condoms. Come on now. Condoms don't help me with my cramps. I don't have cramps, but didn't help me with my cramps when I was bent over crying because that mess hurt, right? Birth controls did that. So again, 195 Republicans voted against federal protection of birth control. 192 voted against the baby formula shortage. And then turned around 205 voted against the PACT Act. So, and that was to help veterans as myself and my dad and my daughter's fathers and my, people I know that was in the military, would help them if they went overseas. It was, and those burn barrels, mixing that stuff up, they caught stuff. They caught, keep them right. And they voted against that. So listen, they don't have anything in place to substitute these things that I'm telling you. They don't have any, they haven't came up with a plan. I didn't hear anybody on a debate stage, Republican wise, come up with a plan to combat these. I think it was a Republican from I want to say Arizona, stated that why do we need birth control? Because we need birth control, right? You have Louisiana, who has on their ballot slavery. Slavery is on the ballot. Y'all, people, my people, Black, brown, indigenous people, Latinos, do y'all hear me? We need to vote blue. I'm not saying the Democrats got it all together. Listen to me what I'm telling you. But they have a plan. And President Biden has a plan to help with us. Nobody wants to defund the police. They do not. But however, they do want to put money to help with mental health issues when it comes to police brutality, because a lot of these police officers don't know when somebody is in a mental health crisis, or they just don't want to deal with it. So if the Republicans take over the House and Senate, I hate to say it, but we're screwed. Mm-hmm. All of the rights that we think we have. You think Roe v. Wade was bad? Do you think that was bad? Do you actually think that was bad enough? No. Take away their Social Security benefits, their Medicare and Medicaid benefits. Your grandmother that's at home and you go over there to talk to her sometime and get some food, she ain't going to be able to live in her home. She ain't going to be able to pay for her insulin or her heart medicine or her cancer medicine, because the Republicans want you to pay enormous amounts of money for medication to deal with Big Pharma. Not only that, when you go to your polls to vote, here in Texas, it's say it may rain, it may not. Take you an umbrella, some water, right? Something to munch on while you in them lines. As long as you're in the line by 7 o'clock, I say 6:50 to be on the safe side. Be in that line, because at 7 o'clock, even though they open from 7 to 7, as long as you're in line at 7 p.m., they can't turn you away. And what I mean by that, I say 6:50. So they're going to have poll watchers right out there. They are. We're having it, right? We'll be out. Well, I'm not a poll watcher. I work on the inside. They got to make sure everybody is in that line. I say 6:50 because they can't say, oh, you just walked up at 7. No, at 6:50, I'm going to look up at 6:50. I'm in this line. So at 7 o'clock, they can't turn you away. They have to let you vote. They have to let you vote. They have to let you vote. So please, people, go to these polls. Think about your families. Let me talk about I have a neighbor whose daughter is autistic. He was my neighbor. They moved. Let's say she gets Social Security, or they get a check for her because she's a minor and she's disabled. Guess what? If the Republicans are in office, they're going to take her Social Security check. They're going to keep her off of Medicaid and Medicare. And guess what? He's going to have to find an insurance company that's not going to say she has a pre-existing condition and put her on. Because that is what's going to happen. Do you all hear me? That is what is going to happen. If they take Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare away, people with children with disabilities, they're going to take your check, right? They're going to take your Medicaid and Medicare. And if you don't have another insurance like Humana, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and you need to find insurance, the insurance company can say they have a pre-existing condition and they can block you from getting insurance. All these things you need to think about. You need to think about if your daughter or your son is out here having sex. You want to put your daughter on birth control, not just because of sex, but because of she has really bad menstrual periods, and they tell you no. What you gonna do then? What you gonna do then? Let me tell you about this economy. The economy, it fluctuates. It goes up and down, up and down, up and down. Every season, we have a season to where we have a bad economy, a good economy. A bad economy, a good economy, right? If Republicans did it, Democrats pull it out. But you got to understand, it took 4 years for the economy to pick up where, Orange Man left off. Yes, which Biden passed. They finally passed the Inflation Reduction Act, right? They finally passed it. That is to help the economy. Not only that, climate change. Republicans don't believe in climate change. If y'all are anywhere in the United States, in the world, the climate change is real. Now, the reason why I'm saying is Texas. I live here. 2021 and 22, we had a freeze, but 21 was the worst freeze we have had. 22, we had a mild freeze. This summer, we had no rain. We had a drought in this state. We had rolling blackouts. The South gets snow now. Up north was burning hot. Climate change. Earthquakes coming, hurricane, everybody, things, nature happens, but climate change make things more frequent and happen in states and areas or countries that you never thought would happen, right? So we have climate change out there. They don't believe in climate change. And they want to privatize public schools. They want people to pay into private school, public schools that they want to privatize, which is crazy. Private schools are expensive. Charter schools are expensive. So think about all this when you go to them polls. Think about that. Inflation is always, we're going to have good economy, bad economy. It's up and down. It's up and down. What if there's another shortage? Are they going to vote to not have to help us with another shortage when it comes to baby formula or anything else? They overturned us women for having an abortion. And that even included rape, incest, or the health and welfare of the mother. I told y'all a month or so ago about a woman here in Texas that got septic because she had a miscarriage and that she couldn't get all the baby out, and they couldn't perform what's called a D&C, an abortion, because she still had her HCG levels were still high, meaning she was still pregnant. She didn't get all the baby out, and it had a heartbeat as far as, and by the time it went down and the heartbeat was considered gone, she was septic and she died. In Louisiana, the young lady who she was pregnant, that she wanted this baby, but because the baby didn't have a skull or a brain, she couldn't have the baby. And they would not do an abortion. Let's think about all these things when we go to the polls. Black, brown, indigenous, Latinos, get out there and vote. I know it's kind of hard on what. No party is perfect. But we sure ain't trying to take your rights away. We sure not trying to demean you or make you feel less than what you are and come out worse than what you are. And them people, they don't care. I just want you all to think about that. Tomorrow's election day. If you have not voted in early voting, please get out tomorrow and vote. Go before work. They open at 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Some places say open till 9. I didn't write down the states that some areas say open till 9. Look it up in your areas. Vote, people. Please, 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 whatever you do, get out and vote. Your life actually depends on it. And I want you all to know that and understand that. I thank you all for listening. I have to go now. I gotta get my life together. Love you. Bye-bye.